everybody, and welcome back to my Let's Play. Alright. So just saved here, let's continue on, shall we? Alright. So I'm feeling a little bummed because summer is just about over. Although you know what, honestly, I'm really not much of an outdoorsy person. I do enjoy going to the beach, but mostly to just kind of lay in the sun. Well, I don't know why. It's not like I need a tan, but I just kind of for me, it's more like I'm a typical nerd. I like to read and I like to listen to music. But I mean, it's not that I mind the water either. It's just that I'm more of the thing is that I'm not the most coordinated person on the planet. I'm trying to work on it though. I think my goal, my my goal is to find some kind of, I don't know if it would ever be a sport or anything, but some kind of physical activity that I could kind of start to get into to become better at. I don't know if it'll be dancing or anything like that, maybe even martial art, I don't know, but one personal goal that I have. So we'll see how that happens. But I mean, anyway, to get back to this, I don't mind the water, but I don't really know how to swim. I can float, so I suppose if that ever becomes necessary, I can use that. But we'll see. But I'm kind of bummed more because the days are getting shorter, and I'm not a cold person. I don't. Me and cold weather really don't mix. Even though I was born in November, you got me. How the hell? I don't tolerate it so much. But that's another thing that I'm trying to work on. Just trying to appreciate all the seasons. Because for me, I'm more of I think my favorite season is spring. But I want to try to appreciate all the seasons a little more. Even winter. Even the dreaded winter. I guess what it was is that, I always associate winter with, the busiest parts of school and work. So it's just even though everyone's like, oh hey, it's a snow day, blah blah blah, I'll be the only idiot going to school, because my school was actually pretty notorious for not having snow days, even when there would be a foot of snow on the ground. Everybody else was closed, or at the very least they delayed the opening of classes, so early classes would be postponed until later, something like that, or maybe canceled. But nope, not my school. You had to be there bright and early, and I'm just okay. And the thing was, their justification was that, oh, okay, because I was a commuter student. I lived at home and I had to take the train in, so.
Mr. Kennedy, still alive, I see. So, do you like my garden?
I see you've managed to work in a little of your twisted taste here, too.
Sagacious as I am, even I get lost here sometimes. Even if it takes your whole life, you'll never get out. Do you know that no one dies without a cause? You will satisfy the stomachs of my cute pets. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to tie up a few loose ends, like chasing down a couple of rats.
2 rats? If one's Lewis, who's the other? Huh. They're an intruder besides me?
Yes, Leon, in case you haven't figured it out. Alright. So you're going to see me do this a lot, by the way, and I do apologize, but this maze certainly does live up to its name. I always get lost in it, so the idea is to get these 2 halves to open that door. Anyway. What the heck was what was I saying? Something. Jesus Christ, my short-term memory is really, really something I need to work on. Just saying. So by the way, not only will I be going for these 2 halves, but there's also a treasure you see there, that star. I'm gonna try to get that as well. So We shall see how that goes. Oh yeah, any snow days, right? So like I said, my university was very infamous for not having snow days. I mean, it was ridiculous. And their justification for that was, oh, well, you have to understand that most of our students are not commuter students. Most of our students are live close by, so they can just walk to the school. So I was just like, okay, that's great and all. Do you have any contingency plans for us? I know there's very few of us commuter students, but you know, we still exist. They didn't even offer any contingency plan. They really didn't. And it was kind of the same thing. I mean, I go to school. I went to school in New York, so we had this strike of the MTA, the transit authority here. So no trains were running. So I had no way to get in to school, and I didn't live within walking distance. And they had no contingency plan either. The first day, and the strike lasted for a few days, I think. And there was no contingency plan whatsoever. So I wound up having to actually there was another train that was running, thankfully. They still had those trains running. So I was able to hop on that train. And they weren't allowing cars into Manhattan unless you had like 4 people in it, something like that. If any of you were living in New York around 2005, you know exactly what that was like. It was horrible. I mean, it was horrible. I mean, I complained because I had finals, because this was around December. I had finals around that time. Like, literally the first day of the strike was like the first day of one of my final exams, so it was ridiculous. But I managed to make it, thankfully. So, I mean, even though I complain, I do recognize that I was pretty fortunate. I know there's some people that it really seriously adversely affected them, and that, to me, I feel like that was completely disgusting, you know. To me, there's just certain things you can't really strike on. Like, that would be like the police striking, and then you get into a RoboCop situation. What the hell? Get into like a RoboCop situation in Detroit and shit. So, and we all know how great that turned out, right? So, and then it was funny because the year that I left, all of a sudden they were calling snow days left and right. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you serious here? That is ridiculous. You know. And, you know, part of me understands I don't really want to, like, have a situation where we have to make up a ton of days because we had so many snow days. But it was just like, but still, you know, think about the safety of people. You have to understand that people have to come in. And for me, I hate walking in the snow. I really do. Because I have this thing about slipping and falling. You know, and getting seriously hurt. I mean, walking on some ice, seriously, that's intimidating to me. So that was the jewel that I was looking for. So, okay, we're good. I'll deal with that later. So now I just have to keep on going. But I don't know. Thankfully, nothing like that has happened since. But every year I'm always concerned that they're gonna do some nonsense like that again, where they're gonna strike. And then I think there's also an issue with, like, if the garbage doesn't get picked up because sanitation goes on strike. Like, you know, the essential jobs. The essential jobs that make a city run. If they were to ever go on strike, like, it would be disastrous. You know? I don't know. So I just hope I don't see anything like that in my lifetime. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Like, that is horrendous. Imagine a city like New York with its trains and buses not running. Like, that's just, you can't even fathom that. You just can't. Alright. I don't know if I really don't know if these dogs are infinite, by the way. I really don't. So, speaking of September, the thing that I like about September now, recently, is that we're just about a month away from The Walking Dead. Woo! Okay, finally. I've been waiting. You know, I was the kind of person that I was just like, okay, what was it, like 6-7 months we had to wait between end of season 4 now, and now we're gonna be starting up season 5. And I kind of was thinking, okay, there's no way they're gonna make us wait all 6-7 of these months. They're gonna change their minds. They're gonna make the season start earlier or something like that. I don't know. I was holding out hope, but sure enough, no, they will be waiting until mid-October to start up the new season. I mean, now it's not too bad because it's only a few weeks away, but oh my god. But I was thinking that they were gonna actually have more marathons of The Walking Dead. They were gonna broadcast it, but so far I've only seen one marathon, and that was back in July. This, July 4th marathon, which of course I enjoyed, but I was just like, that's it, because I know, because that's already July, because then all you have left is August and September, and they're not gonna have another marathon until, I'm sure, October. They're gonna play all first 4 seasons, I think, just to kind of build up to season 5, I believe. So thank God we're out of this godforsaken maze, and I kind of like this cutscene here, so we're just gonna go ahead and insert this into the door and move on.
Put your hands where I can see them.
Sorry, but following a lady's lead just isn't my style.
Put them up now.
Bit of advice, try using knives next time. Works better for close encounters.
Leon. Long time no see.
Ada. So it is true.
True? About what?
You, working with Wesker.
I see you've been doing your homework.
Why, Ada?
What's it to you?
Why are you here? Why'd you show up like this?
See you around.
Ada!
Okay, way to end a chapter. Excellent. So there you go. I'm pretty sure everybody knew who that was before this cutscene even occurred. But what always gets to me is, was Leon surprised that she was alive, or was he just more surprised that she was working with Wesker? Because, I mean, the last time you see Ada in a... Is it the last time you see Ada in a game? Well, no, we all know Ada survived, because if you see one of the epilogues in the 3rd game, it shows Ada. But, like, do we know if Leon knows if she was alive between the end of Resident Evil 2 and then this game right at that moment there? I don't know. I don't know. That scene was always kind of weird to me. So there you go. This confirms there she is, even though she's dressed in her red dress, but in this playthrough she's dressed in like a more tactical suit. Which actually makes more sense. Why somebody would go through a mission in a red dress like that is beyond me, but... when you're so badass like that, I guess you can do it in style. I don't know about you guys. I mean, I'm an old fogey, but I'm still one of those people that I just fantasize about being an action star. Just having all that flexibility and shit. So maybe I should start doing yoga so I can, like, do them badass moves and shit.
Welcome.
We'll see.
Got a selection of good things. What are you selling?
Do I have this tactical vest on me? I think I do, because it seems like I'm taking less damage
Thank you.
than I would
Is
expect.
that all? Is that all?
Alright, so I've actually lots of stuff to sell, and I did forget to combine the elegant mask with this... No, wait.
What are
It's
you
red gem
buying?
here. Hang on. Check on that in a moment, but let me just see here. So I have this left, and it's a pretty hefty price, so I'm still debating whether to get it or not. I mean, a Magnum is a Magnum. How much more powerful can a Magnum get? Unless they do something like they increase the amount of ammo that you can hold. I don't know. Well, we'll see. Alright. So I do like that. I like that Ada came back. I mean, honestly, Ada is not my favorite character. And I have to kind of sit and play Resident Evil 6 again just to kind of reassess what the hell her role is in that particular era, in that particular game. I mean, there's really not much to say about that game. Well, let me finish this. There's not much to say about the game. To me, it's very bland. To me, they were trying to do too much with it, and when you try to do too much with something, especially in the context of trying to compete with other games in a very crowded kind of arena, action games, you're not gonna fare very well, especially if you don't really have much to offer. And to me, Resident Evil 6 didn't really have much to offer. See, the thing about this game is that it was a pioneer. You know, it kind of took some ideas that were already around. People say that this was partly inspired by, I mean, pretty much all 3D games are inspired by Super Mario 64. That was definitely a revolutionary game. This game kind of took some elements of that. But this game revolutionized the series, and it's a thinking person's game, because you have to sit and say, okay, I gotta save ammo. There's puzzles in this game, for crying out loud. Like I've said before, I mean, kind of beating a dead horse at this point, but it's the truth. And this game came out in 2004. Resident Evil 5 had nothing new to offer, so it really didn't feel fresh. It started to feel stale. And Resident Evil 6, to me, same thing, but was even worse because it felt like it had even less of an identity. I don't know, it's tough to say. I mean, I think what helps with Resident Evil 5, and I say this sort of somewhat facetiously, but if you think about it, Wesker, right? Wesker's been around since the first game, and at least he was a big part of the 5th game, so you have a sense of connection with the earliest games. The 6th game has no such thing, you know, so you have a game that's already trying to compete with a million other action games that are out in 2012, and you also don't even have this connection with the story of the franchise. So it really has a very sort of murky identity, this 6th game, which is why I really don't like it that much. I really don't. But here's the thing, it's not a bad game. I've played some really bad games. I've played some unplayable games. None of the Resident Evil games are, oh crap, stupid snake, are really intrinsically bad, except, was there one? I had a tough time with Survivor. I do actually have Survivor, and I played it because I was curious. That's my goal, is to play all the Resident Evil games, and I still have a few that I need to, that are on my list. So I've played all of the main ones. The exceptions to the Resident Evil games that I've not played are Gaiden. I have Gaiden. I did buy it on eBay, but I haven't played it yet. I played a little bit of Survivor, so I can scratch that off the list. What else? The Gun Survivor 2, I think that's the name of the game, but that one I don't think was ever released in the United States. It was a game, I don't know if it was just released in Europe and Japan, or just Japan or something like that, but it took place in during the time of Code Veronica, and I don't think it's canon, so I probably would have a tough time trying to get it. But I don't know what happens if you don't shoot the right thing. I don't know. But let's go in here. A very ornate area, I do have to say. I haven't played the second Outbreak game, but I have it. So most of it is I do already have the games, but it's just I haven't played them yet. Oh my god, hello. Boy, they're really pulling out all the stops here trying to stop Leon. I mean, it makes sense. Leon is here. Oh goodness. And then you have archers here too. What a mix. Then you have Quan Chi over here trying to kill me. Quan Chi, what was the first game that Quan Chi was in? The first Mortal Kombat game? He was like in... I remember the first game that I saw him in was like... And by the way, my first PlayStation 1 game was actually Mortal Kombat Mythologies, which is this like horrendous game. It was the first game I ever got for the PlayStation 1. And I've never beaten it. And it was it's just really silly. But I kind of want to play it just out of curiosity, just for curiosity's sake. So maybe one of these days I'll have to check it out. I mean, there's a lot of games that I have that I haven't even played. And that, for me, I actually feel bad about that, because because you know I spent money on them, and B, also it's just I hate having things kind of gathering dust. That's the kind of person that I am. That's why I actually went on kind of a selling frenzy, if you will. Like, you should have seen my room. I had like a bunch of PlayStation 3 games and Xbox 360 games. There were many that I didn't even take out of the plastic wrap, and I said, you know what? I'm not gonna play these things. You know, at the time I was like, you know, this game seems interesting, but now, no. You know, I said, and the thing also is that even if they are interesting, it's like, I don't have time to kind of get into games as much as I used to before, you know, because, you know, I'm doing the work thing, I'm doing the school thing, so whatever time I want to devote to games, you know, I want to devote to games that I know I'm going to have fun in. And a lot of the times I enjoy kind of replaying games. That's just the kind of person that I am. Let's just do a little monk barbecue here. I don't think I hit anybody with those last 50 grenades, but you know, hey, I just freed up a bunch of space. And also the other reason that I did that was to free up space on purpose, because there's a lot of items that are to be picked up in this room. You'll see in a moment. Trying to think, in terms of weaponry, is there any other weapon that I would like to buy and pick up? The rocket launcher. Yeah, that's gonna need some space, so I'm hoping this is enough space to kind of fit it. So you see, as I'm rearranging all this stuff, hopefully that worked. Okay, I can't get in to that door quite yet. I have to go the other way. Hello, monk. That's the guy I was looking for. Alright. So just gonna go and reload here. Yeah, that's another... I did mention before about the shotgun. I'm not really finding a lot of ammo for the shotgun, but I'm also not really finding a lot of ammo for the TMP. I think maybe the rule of thumb is the more upgraded the weapon is, the harder it is to find ammo. That seems to be the trend, at least in this playthrough. I'm not sure if that's actually the case, but only time will tell, I suppose. Alright. So, I do have to say, yes, in case you haven't heard the wonderful news about Resident Evil Revelations 2. Speaking of Revelations, I do need to play the first game. The first Revelations, and I need to beat it. That will be a Let's Play in the near future. I will definitely say that. That's for sure. But Resident Evil Revelations 2, finally, it's like Capcom heard my complaints, and if everything, you know, if I heard correctly, Claire Redfield will be a playable character, as will Barry Burton's daughter, one of his daughters, Moira. I think I'm saying her name right. I hope I am. Now, dude, Barry Burton. First of all, Barry Burton hasn't even been in a game, in like the story part of a game, I should say, since the third game. And even then, he was only like there for like a second, where he was the pilot of the chopper when Jill was flying out of Raccoon City. So now his daughter is gonna be part of this. Like, dude, that's sweet. I cannot wait. I have no idea when I think Revelations comes out in early 2015, but I cannot wait because, like I said, Claire Redfield. Claire Redfield to me is one of the most underrated Resident Evil characters, if not the most. To me, she's a well-rounded character in terms of her personality. She's not bland, and she's someone that, like, I actually root for because I like her personality a lot. To me, she's unique among female characters. She's not that stereotypical damsel in distress. That's one extreme for me. And then the other extreme is she's not a complete bitch who's trying to prove a point. You know what I mean? Some female characters are like ultra tough because they have to be tougher than the guys. I mean, and I get it, but I kind of like the unique blend of toughness and sensitivity that Claire has. Just like, you know what? Yeah, I kind of would like her on my team. So I'm very interested in seeing that. I don't know what's on the horizon in terms of a 7th game or Resident Evil 7, but we'll see. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see all this. I don't know anything about the style of the game quite yet. Who knows if it's gonna kind of return to its more original roots, or if it's gonna kind of remain more actiony. I don't know, but we'll see. But I'm very excited. I really am. I mean, I love Resident Evil. That's like one series that, I mean, if I think about it, it's been a constant in my life for like more than half of my life. And that's crazy. To me, that really blows my mind. But, you know, so good or bad, I'm always going to be curious about it. Until the day I can't play games anymore. But I'm always going to try to follow it. And we'll see. So every chance I get, I do love to play these games. It's not just a gimmick, but it's like I really like them, you know. So hey, so we'll see. Very excited. So let's see what's beyond this door over here. I kind of forget what the sequence of events is here. See, I always like to blow up these things because sometimes they have some gems in them. And, you know, every little bit helps. That's my motto these days. Every little bit helps. Every little bit of, like, exercise and shit like that helps. That's how I have to do it because, man, I don't know. If I tried any other way, I don't think it would be as successful. Alright, so great. We have the merchant here. I think I have some nice stuff to sell him. I think. Who knows? So I'm just gonna go ahead and save my game. Alright, we're moving along. One step closer. Okay, I will see you guys in the next video.